So in my last video, I talked about some of my favorite reasons as to why Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is one of the best, if not the all-time greatest Call of Duty game ever made. And I have to say, your responses to that video were incredible. Reading through all of them really made me realize that this game has had a lasting impact on a lot of people's lives, and it was really cool to see. But unfortunately, I completely skipped an aspect of Call of Duty Black Ops 2 that was not only a beloved fan-favorite aspect of the game, but was something that made people come back for more, even over a decade later. It's a part of this game that drove people's creativity, their problem solving, their killer instincts to stay alive, and find those precious Easter eggs hidden by Treyarch. It's an aspect of this game that's packed with lore and mystery that fueled a generation's curiosity to unpack all the secrets it had to offer. I, of course, am talking about the Zombies mode in Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Zombies has been a staple in the Call of Duty franchise for well over a decade now, and Black Ops 2 is a major reason why this game mode wasn't just a flash in the pan, but rather an entertainment powerhouse that has no signs of ever slowing down. So in this video, I'm going to discuss why Black Ops 2 Zombies was one of the best zombies to ever hit the market, what set it apart, and why it is so beloved by fans of the franchise even over a decade later. But let's be honest, there's no way I'm going to be able to cover every aspect of this game, so please leave a comment down below. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite aspect of Black Ops 2 Zombies was. Like the video and subscribe for more content. Let's get started. So let's start off by talking about the zombie mode itself in Black Ops 2. This is a game mode where you fight to stay alive, defend yourself against the ever-growing invading horde of zombies, one round at a time, and you go until you drop, using weapons, perks, and other equipment to try and survive as long as possible. The longer you went, the harder it got. Now, when it comes to our main antagonist of this game, the zombies themselves, there are some important features that immediately set this game apart from other horror game genres of the time. For starters, the zombies are something that you absolutely should not take lightly. Upon dropping into your map of choice, they are deceptively easy, almost comically so, which is to be expected early on in the game. I mean, it only takes a few shots or even a stab of your knife to take them down and progress to the next round. So you might think to yourself, oh, it seems easy, right? Well, looks can be deceiving. The higher the rounds went, the tougher these monsters got, meaning that if you don't upgrade your weapons, you will fall behind and eventually lose the game. In Black Ops 2 Zombies, if you are not paying attention, these things will take you down in as few as 2 hits, and then it's game over. And it can happen suddenly, even in the best of circumstances. To me, in my opinion, this is a feature and a function of the game that is really unique, and it's a main reason why I really enjoy Black Ops 2 Zombies. Innately, it's not just a walk in the park. For example, in a game like Left 4 Dead 2, a player would happily take on a group of zombies surrounding them and would just happily blast them away with a smile on their face. But in contrast, in Black Ops 2, finding yourself surrounded like that is a complete death sentence. The game forced you to actually play the game as well. There was no sneaking past the zombie enemies like you would see in a game like The Last of Us, where stealth can play a huge role in your survival. There is no picking your fights, the fight is always coming at you, whether you're ready for it or not. The zombies in Black Ops 2 were also very honest and very predictable, and I seriously loved that. You knew what you were getting, meaning that Treyarch avoided other gameplay mechanics that you might find in a game like Dead Island, where the player could be grappled and immobilized by the enemy zombie. And sure, the demon baby mole things that lurked in the fog did have a similar mechanic, where the player would get grappled and their progress would be hindered, but I don't consider that the same thing, honestly. It was more of a punishment for going out of bounds, and isn't the same thing as stopping the player completely in their tracks. That's just me at least. The zombies knew where you were at all times, they became tougher and harder to kill over time, and that was something that really added to the despair and the anxiety-inducing immersion that Black Ops 2 forced upon the player that I honestly really loved. It meant that there was literally nowhere to hide. They followed you around the map. They would tear through barriers, climb over obstacles, and tail behind your every move just to take a bite out of you. It really was this suffocating presence that you could never completely escape, leading to unique strategies from players of all kinds, each formulating a plan of attack on how to stay alive just a little bit longer. In fact, throughout all the maps in Black Ops 2 Zombies, there were a variety of perks you could obtain that would help you survive, including a funny little machine that helped you pack just a little bit more of a punch in your gunfights. But we will talk about that a little bit later into the video, because in Black Ops 2 Zombies, eventually your back is going to be up against the wall, literally in some cases, and you either need to fight for survival or fall to the zombie horde in a blaze of glory. On top of the enemy zombies zeroing in on your location, the player is also confronted with the unforgiving, oppressive environment that Black Ops 2 Zombies has to offer to you. The maps in this game are not only glorious spectacles of what hell on earth would really look like, but they are also incredibly unwelcoming. The moment the player is dropped into the map itself reminds them that they are a stranger in this land. Large fissures and cracks populate the ground beneath you, forcing the player to literally hop over these cracks to avoid taking damage. Time it wrong and your health is gonna go down. Add in some zombies chasing you down, and this is a recipe for disaster. It's brilliant, really. Treyarch designed these maps in such a way that they constantly put pressure on the player to keep moving and keep fighting. Any spot you might be able to camp and cheese out a victory has some kind of angle a zombie could peek in, clamber through, or even literally jump up to. Even revisiting this game so many years later, I found my brain working overtime trying to keep up with the ever-growing presence of the zombies at play. And as I mentioned previously, don't even think about running through the fog to try and get out of the map, because these weird, creepy, baby-looking demon things are going to latch onto your face and slowly drag you down to a game-ending loss. Besides, beyond any given map is more fog and more lava, and unless you know what you're doing and what you're looking for, chances are you're slowly going to be eaten alive one zombie at a time. In fact, the only way to properly travel beyond the fog was in the game mode called Transit. This was a unique feature in Black Ops 2 Zombies, where players could hop from one map to the other, uncover secrets and Easter eggs along the way, making for a more dynamic and exciting twist to Call of Duty Zombies. I love the options available to players when it comes to how you want to approach surviving in Black Ops 2 Zombies. There are a variety of guns around each of the maps available for players to buy and use. They are pretty basic, and in some cases they are just not that good, but there are some gems scattered around the map that can help you early on if the mystery box is unkind to you, which is something we will get into a little bit later. Another option that I really loved in Black Ops 2 Zombies were the perk machines that were scattered around the map. These perks allowed the player to gain certain rewards in-game that gave them an edge against the approaching zombie horde. And in Black Ops 2 Zombies, if you wanted to stay alive, not only do you need to clear your pathing options by opening doors, boarding up windows, removing barriers, and effectively creating a train of zombies behind you, but you also need to prioritize stacking these perks. It's the only way to stay alive and make it to the next round. Now, do you see that light in the sky? You see how it breaks through the darkness, as if to cast out the evil surrounding you at all times? That light, in many ways, is the only source of relief you will ever find in Black Ops 2 Zombies. It is a beacon of hope in the darkest of days, when the enemy is closing in and all hope is lost. It is the pot of gold at the end of this desolate, dangerous rainbow. It is the both beautiful and vengeful feature in Black Ops 2 Zombies called the Mystery Box. At the cost of 950 hard-earned, blood-soaked points, you can place your bets and put it all on black, as the guns cycle through in front of you hypnotically as you roll the dice to see what you get. Will you get the ray gun? Will you get any good gun? Well, as the box giveth, the box taketh away. More times than not, in my experience, the mystery box will give you anything but the ray gun. That's honestly all I want. All I want is the ray gun, please. Never mind that you are low on ammo, surrounded by enemies on all sides, and are desperate for relief. Never mind that you are about to spend the last little bits of your points in a desperate Hail Mary to snag something good until you can pack-a-punch it and have a chance. Oh no, forget all those hopes and dreams, because the mystery box may as well be called the mystery coffin. It is the Schrodinger's cat of this game, because the ray gun is both in there and never in there at the exact same time. The mystery box is a cruel, vicious mistress who will leave you in an instant to fight for your own survival. But sometimes she comes through. Sometimes the gods of Call of Duty smile down upon you and actually give you something good to play with. At that moment of revelation, it's time to get into a groove, train some zombies, save up your points, and cash in for the pack-a-punch machine. It's a simple machine, really. Gun goes in, better gun comes out. And this new gun will most likely hit those zombies like a Mack truck, mowing them down and giving you time to regroup and continue the fight. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why are you not talking about the Easter eggs? Well, it's time for a confession. I simply don't have a lot of experience in this part of the game. My perspective of zombies has always been strictly from a casual perspective. I was never really someone who dove hard into solving the puzzles and unpacking the lore surrounding Black Ops 2 Zombies. But I just so happen to know someone who was and still is an avid Call of Duty Zombies player. Someone who has been known in my personal friend group as someone who is an expert in this field and knows the ins and outs of the Easter egg possibilities of Black Ops 2 Zombies. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you to my good friend Tutor P.
The Easter eggs are my absolute favorite feature in all of Zombies, which I know is a bit weird, but it's only because they're so good. Back before I ever played Zombies in the first place, I was super into hunting achievements and getting my gamer score up when I eventually came across an achievement called Tower of Babel that was worth a whopping 75 gamer score, which is a lot for all you non-Xbox players. But weirdly, unlike most of the achievements I've ever achieved, the description was not very helpful in teaching me how to get this achievement, so naturally I asked my friend and Zombies expert Taco Spartan 04 how to get this achievement, and he simply told me, "Oh, you'll never get that one. It's impossible." And from that day forward, my mind was made up and my fate was set in stone. I planned to not only get that achievement, but every Easter egg achievement in Black Ops 2, which I did actually end up doing, so frick you, Taco Spartan 04. While I was researching this achievement though back in the day, I found out that Zombies actually had a pretty in-depth story to it, which I was unaware of at the time. In the previous game, Black Ops 1, there were more Easter eggs that basically led to the playable characters blowing up the earth, which is why the maps like Transit and Die Rise are completely destroyed and in ruins. I think the way Treyarch went about telling the story is the main reason these Easter eggs did so well. In the later games like Cold War, the Easter eggs are basically just presented as missions and give you most of the steps in-game, which in my opinion takes a lot of the fun out of actually solving the Easter eggs and is one of the main reasons I've stopped playing the newer Zombies games. In Black Ops 2, however, the story and steps are all told to you in a very subtle way that makes you feel like you are actually solving an Easter egg as opposed to following instructions for a mission. On top of blowing up the actual Earth, the character Edward Richtofen also took control over the zombies, which is why in Black Ops 2 they all have blue eyes and the announcer for the perk drops is his voice. These subtle storytelling strategies are perfect, and it makes me disappointed that we don't really get things like this anymore. Everything is just shoved in our face nowadays. If you played Black Ops 2 without knowing the story, you'd probably notice that the zombies have blue eyes and just think it was cool. But for the people who do know the story, they probably felt great and even more immersed and invested into the zombies world. But enough about the story. Obviously that was done spectacularly, but the actual Easter eggs themselves are some of my favorites in the entire series. First of all, there are actually 2 Easter eggs per map. You can either follow Richtofen's instructions for world domination, or you could follow Dr. Max's Easter egg instructions, which he claims will save the world. Most of these Easter eggs also require 4 players, so you do need a full team to attempt these Easter eggs. But if you do manage to get a full team to do all 3 Easter eggs while following the same side, you even get access to a super Easter egg, which gives you crazy rewards depending on which side you used, as well as some extra story stuff, obviously. In the later games, Treyarch has tried to make super Easter eggs as well, but they just aren't the same as these, especially since none of these Easter eggs gave you the options for 2 different sides of a story. That feature alone is highly underrated. I wish more Black Ops games did that. But the actual steps for these Easter eggs were the perfect blend of cryptic and fun. In the first Black Ops game, it still had great Easter eggs that I did enjoy, but the steps seemed a little bit too subtle and random, whereas in Black Ops 2, they aren't nearly as blatant as the later games, but they're still a lot more spectacular as far as what they do to the map you're playing on. For example, in the buried Easter egg, one of the steps requires you to chase a wisp around the map and into whichever device Richtofen or Maxis tells you to. Once you complete this, you get access to the Infinity Round, where all the zombies are invincible and the screen goes black and white. Obviously, you're not expected to actually kill any of these invincible zombies, but you do have to find a lever to continue the Easter egg, and if you can't find it in time, you either die or you have to try the whole thing again. Black Ops 1 has a couple of steps that were similarly cool, especially with its finale and blowing up the earth, but for the most part, it was just having players stand in certain areas or use specific guns to shoot specific objects. There is a fair share of that in Black Ops 2 as well, but I think they managed to get a perfect balance of this. Black Ops 3 also had some great Easter eggs, but in my opinion, they're a little bit over the top, especially when compared to Black Ops 2. Now, Black Ops 3 is still great, and I've done all the Easter eggs in that game too, and I love it a lot, but when you play Black Ops 3 and go back to Black Ops 2, you really appreciate what we had with this game. It is debatable which Zombies game had the absolute best and most fun Easter eggs, but it is not debatable that Black Ops 2's Easter eggs were amazing, and I would go as far as to say they did the best job of subtly telling the story of zombies without shoving it down your throat. Easter eggs are obviously not for everyone, and I think that with the later games making them almost the main point of playing zombies, they ended up losing the charm that Black Ops 2 had perfected. Of course, it is mostly subjective, but judging purely off the success of Treyarch's newer Zombies games, I'm sure most people agree that Black Ops 2 really did have something special with its Zombies mode, and especially with its Easter eggs. But anyway, I know you guys are tired of hearing my unprofessional voice, so let's get back to TizzyQ.
Everyone, please subscribe to Tutor P down below. He makes amazing content and you will not regret it. Honestly, this is just the tip of the iceberg of what we could say about Black Ops 2 Zombies. It was an incredible mode, it had so much to offer to players, and it really is so much fun to play even a decade later. But what do you think? Leave a comment down below. What's your favorite thing about Black Ops 2 Zombies? Thank you so much for watching the video, and please subscribe if you're new. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Anxiety, filling up every space, no privacy. And silently, it could build and build until you finally see, whoa, it's taking over, damn no closure, moving closer. No exposure, I just wanna be a loner. Some can't stay sober, looking over.